You all good there, dude?
A little bit sweaty. Yourself? You're looking pretty good in the maroon. Seems like it's a familiar colour.
I'm trying something new.
Alright. New, huh?
Speaking of new,
Yeah.
how'd your weekend go?
Funny you should ask, Wooch. Funny you should ask. I was snuck into a damsel's house because her parents went away, but her siblings were still home, right? So she had to sneak me in.
Did she lower her hair and you climbed up through the window?
She's got a lot of hair. She's got the thickest head of hair I've ever seen. Thick everything, actually.
Yeah.
No. So she sneaks me in. I had to like park down the road, and then walk over to her house, and then like just talking outside, blah blah blah. You know, spend the night. And the next morning I had to go to work, and she was like, well, you know, you're going to have to sneak out again because my siblings are still home. I was like, okay, well, like I can do that, but like you're either going to have to go out there and distract them, or like you're going to have to text them, or like something's going to happen, and also I need to pee.
Yeah, okay.
She's like, actually you can't pee. I was
Like,
like, what?
you don't need to do that in the house, though.
No. In fact, I didn't have to do it in the house. She told me that like you can't go out there and pee because my brother's in the next room and you can't sneak past. He doesn't know you're here. I was like, okay.
They're going to
well,
hear the difference between a girl peeing and a guy peeing in the toilet. for
that
sure.
too, and also like me just walking past and all that. So she's like, why don't you pee somewhere else? And I was like, where am I going to pee? Right? Because like
This is not going
This is
right.
not happening.
There's no way. There's no... Keep going.
Alright, so she's like, why don't you like pee in a bottle? And I was like, I'm not fucking pissing in a bottle. Like, but also I'm on red alert, right? Like, this is a morning pee, right? You know when your bladder is just like fucking burning up, all your kidneys and fucking liver is just absolutely produced the damn goods.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking around, I'm struggling. I'm like, we need to go. And she's like, I don't know what you want to do. You want to fucking go on like one of my pot plants or something? I'm like, I don't know. And then I had a thought. I was like, can I pee out your window? She was like, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, you needed to pee this bad? You couldn't wait until you snuck out of the house?
Dude.
Really?
I told you, this is a morning.
It's
You
that
play
morning-
a
that
dangerous game,
morning
Griff.
piss,
Pissed
dude.
out of Republic.
So, like, I had to, like, she's got one of the fucking, like, windy windows. I'm like,
I pissed out of those a couple times.
dude. And, like, I'm not talking out into a
Fly
garden.
screen too? You got to piss through the fly screen?
No fly screen,
Oh,
but,
you're
like, I had
lucky.
to hang it out, like, the fucking ledge.
Yeah.
And we're not talking into a garden. We're talking onto a, like, fucking patio, too, dude. Out onto the driveway. Full view of the street and everything is in front of me, and like
Oh,
she's
this
like,
story has potential.
so like she's fucking like left the room. I had to go, like I fucking hide under the curtains and shit, wrap myself in there, get all like acclimated to the situation. And
Can anyone just picture like, you know how there's two curtains by the windows, there's just one curtain that's just wrapped up fucking
Yeah.
tight, there's a dick hanging out the side.
sleuthing it out, dude. So I fucking hang my fucking hog out that window and just piss hard onto her patio, onto her driveway. And then she comes back in. She's like, "Did you go?" I'm like, "Yeah, fucking yes, I went." And she's like, "Okay." And then she brings her watering can in for her pot plants and makes me water the fucking driveway down out of the window with this little like pissant fucking watering can. I got a little bit on the windowsill, so I had to kind of water that too. Yeah, so that happened. Anyway, welcome to Couple Whiff.
With Wooch Griff. Alright, well, welcome back to Couple Whiff, everybody. Today we're gonna be going over a bunch of shit. To start though, we've got a beer in the house. Last week we talked about Carlton Draft. It's our favourite beer. It's rated at, what did we all give it? A 22.
It's the best.
That was the medium rate.
Combined average, yeah.
Combined average of a 22 out of 24, so 22 cans out of the slab of 24. And we've got another beer today. I actually think so, Schwid. Lace up, dude.
All right.
We've
Toss
got
a beer to your witcher, baby.
We've got Goat Beer.
Goat beer.
Cameron Haynes' beer.
Yes, sir.
Goat Beer. Very enjoyable beer, it says. 4.2%. Made in 1997, hard to believe, but
Well, if it says it's enjoyable.
All right.
we're all going to try it.
Where are we going to place this on?
Hook one up with our boy here.
Oops.
Cheers, dude.
Planks. Oop, love that.
I already like the foaminess at the top.
We already got. Looking good from the start. A little bit of pre-cum, looking nice.
Bit fruity, huh?
Ooh, that's Alright, well let's start out. Instead of us Griff, you lay us up here. Your first take. Where are we going? What's the thoughts?
Bit fruity. It's kind of like a mix between an ale and just a beer. So it's kind of like half good. Everyone kind of knows I hate ale, so like it's like a beer that tastes like it's got ale mixed in it. So it's not awful. I've got a little bit of the old Belchies.
All that
I don't know,
is
man.
not
That's probably like
Good.
what do we say, out of 24, I'd probably give it,
In the slab, yeah.
in the slab, I'd probably drink maybe 6 of these.
Yeah, look. All right, so it's
Wah,
it,
wah, wah.
it does have the ale taste. It's got the fruity kind of. I don't know. Like it tastes like Furphy, to be honest with you.
Furphy's better than this, sorry.
Furphy is better than
Howdy.
this. It tastes like Furphy. It has. I don't like beers that have the fruity aftertaste.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Bitter there as well.
Beer for me is. It doesn't have an aftertaste. It tastes like fucking beer, and this is not that.
I just want beer that tastes like real beer.
I want beer that tastes like real
2%
beer.
fat.
This is. It has an aftertaste.
Where are we going?
Where do you
man?
place it on the beer
What are you
meter?
hitting? How many out of the slab are you drinking?
I'll give it like a 15.
Ooh, that's actually not bad. I was expecting.
Generous, dude.
Alright, let's go.
Look, because it has a fruity aftertaste, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's not my thing. And I'm sure there's a situation for it.
I agree.
When we're about-
Situation, D.
The situation
What
is not now.
situation, D?
There's a time and there's a place.
You reckon
Yeah.
that sounds like a pretty bleak
And
situation? or?
it's not now.
Alright, Schwid, let's keep rolling.
Alright, well, you know me, I love my fruity beers. So, I
Surprise,
don't mind this,
surprise.
but it's more the aftertaste. It's actually quite dry.
This
Like,
is,
just
by the way,
bland.
this is coming from a man who really enjoys his Furphy beers.
Likes a bit of power.
Yeah, I rate Furphy better
You're
than
the
that,
first person to
but
bring a Furphy into this
Yes.
clan.
you're well
Loves
welcome.
a Furphy from the fridge.
You're welcome
Likes
in
a Furphy
advance.
just a
Just a
smidge.
smidge.
Okay, so out of a 24, I'd go like,
Can you do that just a little bit longer? Yes.
I
That's
would
an
give it a
ASMR,
16
bro.
just to be really annoying.
One more, dude. It's not that kind of a game, dude.
16,
yeah.
16. He's going with 16. Alright. Now, for one to have GOAT, I mean, maybe they're not going for greatest of all time, right? Maybe that's not what they mean by this, but is it the GOAT beer? I mean, I don't know. For one, kind of got like a nectar kind of going on there. Kind of feel like I got a bit of like a tangerine in my mouth. But also,
No, like the peel though, not
you
the
guys,
tangerine. Like
you
the
guys,
peel.
it's really sweet, man. Like, you guys ever had, what was the Lifesavers? Remember those little like,
Yeah.
like little ring lolly things you
I
get?
know.
I could afford the fruit tingles.
Dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Into that poverty fucking life, dude.
fruit
I could dip
pastels,
into my-
dude.
could dip into my fucking
So-
pocket money a little bit deeper. Than
Imagine like some water that's just fermenting in some of those Lifesavers, right? That's what I'm kind of getting from this. It's not bad though. I wasn't
Not a
expecting
fan of wait,
a
now,
pale ale though.
Where did
right?
we say it was from? Sorry.
It's from America, North America.
Yes.
Yeah.
States.
Cameron Haynes. That's Joe Rogan's
So no,
boy.
but it's like an American.
Richmond.
Is it?
Richmond.
I didn't know he had his own beer.
We get our
Well,
boy.
it can't be
We get our boy
What do we
Cam with
think
us.
of the?
It can't be from
What do we
Richmond.
think of the presentation? Do we like the blue and orange? Because I hate those colours.
I like the presentation.
Let me get my. All right.
I'm
I'm
not-
gonna give this a 10. I drink 10 out of a slab of these. Right. I'm talking like it's a little long day at work.
But you can't even drink 6 Fosters anyway. So.
Oh,
No,
let's
no,
get
no,
some
stop
jazz back
with
in
the,
here.
you can't drink that.
Yeah,
because,
come on
oops.
now.
Can you put a little gif of Doodle struggling with some Fosters at the end there?
That was your icon from last
I was gonna say
from
that.
last
That was
time.
actually like my profile.
We'll
for a
get
little bit
Foster's
there.
onto the beer meter
Yeah.
eventually. Now, to all the audience members, we
Oh,
were thinking of
Foster's,
trialing a new name for this segment. Let us know in the comments. We were either going to stick with beer meter or try Mt Beverest. And we would eventually try and get a little mountain in the back here and plant the flags with each beer tab on, you know, as far up on the mountain as we think it
Please,
deserves to be placed.
send money for a modelled mountain.
Carlton Drive.
Just like,
Come on, just chuck it out.
yeah, right, two-dimensional.
Hey, that's a nice mountain you got in the
Alright.
studio there. I like that.
Yeah.
it's just
Donate
what
to
I
the Patreon and we'll get it, right?
Carlton Draft is obviously at the top,
At the peak, right?
at the summit, with
Summit.
his flag right in the
want.
fucking.
Okay, and since we're very unorganized here, and I haven't actually
Does
calculated
it
what
sound
this
more
gives us.
aesthetically pleasing? Placing the flag on Mount Beverest. Or,
Sounds nice, yeah.
what did we say?
Yeah,
Just
in
Wait,
your-
I got a better one for you. Staking its claim
Yeah, I like it.
on Mount Beverest.
So once again, because we're not very organized and we actually haven't figured out what this actually comes to between all four of
Hey,
us.
we're
gonna
human,
put it
okay?
up, yeah, well, I'm just
We're
saying,
human.
We're going to put it up
We've
on the
got
screen
shit
for
to
you
do.
right now.
Bills to
What
pay.
we've given it out of 24. Once again, Carlton draft last week was 22 out of 24. So I'm no mathematician, but I'm thinking this isn't going to beat that so far. So, alright, it's our beer of the week. Cam, he's in the background here. What are you thinking anyway? Yell it out
Hey.
to us.
Hey!
Hey.
8 out of 24, you heard it.
Okay.
So he's where I'm at. It's pretty average, huh?
That's 33
Piss
points.
off.
Hey, that's not an official judge, but like, yeah, he's in it.
Fan judge.
Yeah, yeah.
The voice of the people.
Hey, speaking of judges, guys, how was that fight judged on the weekend?
Alright, shut your mouth real quick. I got stuff to say.
Ah.
Alright, so the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight.
It's a fantasy fight, right?
It was not a draw though. The only reason you would make that a draw is if you wanted to justify a rematch for more money, which I accept because boxing does that a lot.
Yes, they do.
Mike Tyson won that fight. I know you disagree, but you should watch that fight
I need to
again.
probably watch it
You
again.
definitely need to watch that
Now,
fight again.
we need to sort of go over that a little bit first, right? Because people actually were not under the impression that this was an exhibition, right? People thought this was a real boxing match.
Can I step in for just real quick? So I think that both fighters went into this pretending like it was going to be an exhibition, but really they were trying to take each other's heads off or win the fight by a KO. But
Yeah.
in the end, when they realized that this fight was 8 rounds, I think that they
seems
made
like
it to be an
They
exhibition
were making
because
it up as they were
could not-
going, though, right?
Yeah, they could not do a real boxing fight.
Well, it looked like Tyson was, in that sense, as you said, like they were treating it more as an exhibition because Tyson wasn't headhunting; he was kind of going to the body.
He was a little at first, though.
No, but like he was going more. You could see the game plan was to ruin Roy Jones's body and like dig into the body and,
Yeah.
and tire him out, which would probably play into the more like the rule set that they set, which was basically you can't knock your opponent out, which is bullshit. You're talking about two of the
Come on,
most elite. I know they're past their primes, but come on, like two of the
Have
best.
you met Mike Tyson?
Yeah, come on,
dude?
dude.
You
These
gonna
two
tell
guys-
him not to knock
these two-
anyone out?
Yeah, these two guys know what it's like to fucking KO people.
They were saying, so like Mike Tyson was like, when this first hole got announced, he was like, before this actually got announced, right, he was saying that he was trying to get away from his past and like not be as, he was trying to leave his ego behind. And then when this fight got announced and he was originally going to do it for charity, his wife was like, oh, I don't want you reigniting that ego.
No, she said how he said it though, she told him that he was fat. And then
Yeah,
he got
that's-
on the treadmill for
Yes.
15 minutes, he's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, no, but
And
that's where I'm getting at. So
Yeah.
he, like originally he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna run for like half an hour, and then he ended up running for
like,
10 miles or something
yeah,
ridiculous. And
something
then
ignited in him.
Yeah, something ignited him.
You have to understand, Mike Tyson, despite the fact the guy is 54 years old, we are talking about, not just him, like Roy too, two of the most elite athletes, two of the best fighters, two of the greatest and most memorable boxers that have ever graced the ring, two former heavyweight champions. Roy Jones is, Mike was a youngest heavyweight champion of all time. Roy started as a fucking junior middleweight, coming from the Olympics. Was robbed, got a silver medal. He was robbed in the Olympics. Everyone knew it going into coming out of that too. And once he turned pro, he won the middleweight strap. He won the light
It's a
heavy.
4-division
Yeah,
weight class. And if you don't know Roy Jones Jr., you must have forgot. Like,
y'all must have forgotten.
dude, can't be touched. Roy Jones Jr. Come on. Dude.
So we are talking about two fucking savages, and yes, they are older. They knew going in that sort of like. Yes, it's supposed to be an exhibition, but we're talking about two guys who fight, man.
And
they are fighters to their fucking core and their bones.
And the thing about fighters is like,
There's no ego check. There's no play fun.
dude,
They don't play around, man.
Fighters, like their body tells them no before their mind tells them no. So they're still a fighter, like beyond their done. And especially with fighters who like destroy and own.
And these
like,
two would destroy us.
Dude, they're
Yeah,
the
they do it for
most
so
of
many
the
years,
destroyers.
right?
If
Yeah.
they destroy and own, and then their body's like no, and their mind's like yes, definitely yes, and years on they're like they have to retire because their body is telling them no. When an opportunity like this comes along, they're low key like, oh my god, I want to see if I'm still great again.
What was fantastic too was the respect that these two had for each other, but also the kind of mutual admiration, but also like, neither of them were going to go in there and muck around. Like these two came to box.
Yeah.
They told them that there's no
What is an
knockouts
exhibition
allowed.
fight?
What is an exhibition fight? You were talking about two fucking killers. They don't fucking exhibition, alright? You don't play fighting. These two come to fight, and they came to fight. And I'm going to say this right now. I was fanboying out so hard at this. The event, as a who did it? Triller or something? Some weird...
Don't talk to me
So
about
I'm going to talk
before
about
Snoop
that.
Dogg, dude.
No, so we
Don't talk to me
let's
about
talk
that.
about the event before we talk about the fight, alright? So the event was hosted by some company named Triller
Backwater.
that streamed it out.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated this production. I
crowd?
hated the empty arena. They had it kind of like a showcase. It was a fucking circus.
Dude,
they had this really
Elephant
low
in the
roof.
room. The crowd was horrible.
Dude.
It just seemed so tacky.
When I watched this event,
What? There's no crowd.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but they had this
Exactly.
low roof. They had this weird panel desk. They had who'd they have? Mauro Ranello with the bullshit hairpiece. I'm like, bro, we know your hair's gone. Like, don't fucking glue what has he got? Roadkill glued onto his head, dude. I love you, Mauro. Dude. He's one of the best commentators of all time.
Looking
Don't
like-
fuck with us with that
Looking like
shit.
one of the
dude.
founders of the
Okay, so we
American-
got Israel Adesanya, a legit
yeah, I'll
fighter.
win. Oh, very big.
That's a
win
big
there.
win.
Guys,
He was
Springfield.
good.
He was very good.
You had Snoop, a casual, annoying as fuck. No offense, I can't
Yeah,
stand
but-
Snoop. I love Snoop as a personality, in small segments.
I gotta interrupt you here, dude. When
Please.
this whole
Take it away.
after Jake Paul and Nate fighting,
We'll come
which
back
we'll
to
get
that.
back to that for sure. I was watching it with my boy, and that whoever was doing whatever he was doing with the pink fucking jacket or whatever was shitting the bed so hard, dude.
Was this the in-between show? Like where
Yes, dude. I could not
muted.
believe how bad they shit the bed with
Now,
this.
only, besides the fact too, what was that? Those in-between shows were just like some rappers performing. Now some washed-up rappers.
I gotta
You know
finish.
how like in the fucking Super Bowl they have like the newest talent.
Yeah,
They've got
Maroon
all
5
like the most like hottest.
Dude, they have like J-Lo and shit. I was like, this is my fucking Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. How have you not got like fucking... Dude, how have you not got like Aerosmith back again, like doing Dream On or some shit before this fucking
Dude,
fight,
you
dude?
realize this was like in a fucking,
Dude,
what do you call it? Like,
Do you know what pissed me off more? Is when this guy in the...
I would've liked some salt and pepper, let's be honest.
yeah, dude, you could
Push
have
it
the
real
Pussycat Dolls come in, I would have... Dude, but when you had this guy in the pink jacket, I don't know who his name, I never looked it up, and it's like, oh, that's where all the pyrotechnics went? You put it into this guy?
Yeah.
Dude, it looked like it was
Dude, Jake Paul and
like
Nate Robinson had nothing. Even
Hallam Industrial Park was like
I
where they
didn't
had
even
the
know,
location.
but when they brought out Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., no pyrotechnics.
No, so well,
They shit the bed so hard.
the production of this whole show was rough. Like it was like there was all swearing allowed. They just it was like they just kind of threw it all together. It was a circus.
Yes.
It was watching a circus, but the thing is, it probably sold a lot of pay-per-views
Yeah.
because that's what the internet wants today. They just want.
That was the whole idea of it, just to
They
make
don't
money.
want a
Yeah.
professional, fucking sanctioned, proper, well-structured show. They just wanted to throw some shit at the wall and see what stuck. So
Real-
you have a panelist desk with two legit fighters. You have Israel Adesanya,
Sugar
the current,
Ray as well, though.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yes.
Excuse me, not Robertson. Sugar
Not
Ray
the
Leonard.
singer.
He didn't get a fucking word in. He was too busy being interrupted by.
For Sugar Ray.
He got no words in. He was just
Sugar
being
Ray was
interrupted
not
by.
exactly ideal. I don't know. He was
He's a
ex-fighter.
fantastic
Not the most
commentator.
articulate though?
No, he's
I
excellent.
wasn't a fan of Sugar Ray on the commentary,
Well,
to
how
be
is he
honest with
supposed
you.
to have it? He can't shine when he's next to fucking
He wasn't
Snoop Dogg.
He got his opportunity. Snoop Dogg wasn't there when... Alright, so here's the thing. Alright, so after this guy who, I don't know who he was, but wasted all the pyrotechnics on himself, after that, Snoop Dogg came out, and it was at that point where I started being like, oh my god, yes. That was like classic Snoop, and he brought the show back around, dude.
Had it muted.
That's... Yeah, well, you missed out. 'cause
Don't
I
care.
feel-
Right, don't care. 20 minutes of Snoop Dogg?
Difference.
Fuck off.
I enjoyed every moment of it. I thought when Snoop came out, that was like, holy shit.
But a lot of people like Snoop Dogg, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't say the majority of
Look,
people out there probably like
Dude,
him.
I'm not, like, I like Snoop Dogg. I don't listen to his music. I like rap. I don't listen to his music by myself. But I'm just saying, when he came out and he had the blunt going and he was just freestyling right off the top of his dome, that was a great time. And that's what stole the show back for me. Because
Yeah.
after that, it was all...
I don't know.
Depending on
I hated
uphill
it.
or downhill, what's easier? I don't know. Downhill was easier, but
It
uphill
was all
like,
downhill. It was about to crash at the bottom of the hill.
let's say everything was better after that.
You reckon?
Yes.
Alright, well, let's talk about the fights. You had an undercard, which I kind of missed. I watched the Badero Jack fight. It was just kind of a... It should have been probably a little bit more of a squash match than it actually was. It went to decision. Good on him. That's a former champion, by the way, boxing on an undercard to a fucking YouTuber and two old men. So that shows you how much respect they have for, you know, a legit boxers.
They get paid, it's fine.
He gets paid, but come on, dude. Shitting on, you know, talent for one thing. Next, we have the fight that I feel like a lot of the casual audience tuned into, especially, you know, like 18, what's the demographic? 14 to 18-year-old girls and
Lower
boys.
it down a bit.
Yeah, let's go lower, right? You got your Jake Paul fans, and then you got your probably your basketball fans. I guess tuning in for their boy Nate Robinson.
As a Nuggets fan,
Yeah, your Nugs. Tell us about your Nugs.
well, I'm not going to tell you about the Nugs. They did well last season, though, for an underdog team. But
So none
Nate
of us know
Robinson-
basketball except for him, but like
well,
you can
Nate,
tell us that.
Yeah, well, Nate Robinson, he is a 3-time NBA dunk contest champion. This guy,
He was
this
a
guy
robber.
is the most athletic.
Yeah.
And maybe you should stick to that.
And he fought.
I heard he was a multi-sport
Oh, this guy
athlete too.
fought?
Like he played professional football and
First of all,
basketball.
Did
first
this
of all,
guy
hold on a
fight,
sec.
did he?
Cameraman Schwid, you better come correct when you talk about
That
NBA
shit
to the Wooch.
twisted,
Okay?
yeah?
So, alright, Nate Robinson played for the Nugs, 3-time dunk contest champion, which is the most. And he,
I heard it was a robbery though. I heard Dwight Howard.
yeah, no, definitely. The
Just
only
rocked
reason
him
that he
on
won is because he's small.
Yeah.
He did, like,
Still athletic though.
yeah, he's athletic as motherfucker, dude.
5'9", and he's
Yes,
able to dunk,
dude, come on,
son.
dude. It was
Wait,
ridiculous.
he can dunk at 5'9"?
5'9".
Yes.
He's
Dude,
a
what-
super
I gotta get my
athlete.
shit.
Dude, what's your
We've
excuse?
got a chance.
No,
I'm
you
like
don't
taking
understand.
5'8"
Athletes like that
and
aren't usually born. Like
He's very
like a
African
one in a
American.
million.
The most
athlete.
African American, but still, Doodleson, you should tighten your shit up.
Yeah, fuck.
Anyway,
He's too busy being good at what he does.
super
on the
athletic.
podcast, right?
Enough about
Shout out
basketball.
to
Please.
you know.
He
Live from the
fought
Couch or
Jake
whatever
Paul,
it's called.
I'm
right?
ready, Griff.
And here's the thing, I watched this fight with my boy, and I said that you should put money
Shout
on
out to
Jake
Jake.
Paul for the second round by KO. That
Smart
came to
call.
fruition. Jake Paul,
Now, what was the word that you just used?
Fruition?
fruition, not fruition. I didn't say that.
Intermission though, right? So you're taking a brief through intermission, dude.
Is there remission for mission?
Yeah,
Is there kitchen?
Hot spicy fruition.
Yeah, I'm Mike Python. Anyway,
Oh shit.
anyway, Jake Paul he's actually a savage. I knew, you could see it in his eyes that guy's he's an angry, savage man.
He's a bully.
And he's 100% a bully. The story's out there, like, I don't know where I heard it, but there was
For
some...
anyone who doesn't know who Jake Paul is, he's a YouTube sensation. Demographic
It's every day,
being
bro.
probably 12 to 18-year-old boys and girls, mainly girls. I don't know what it is about their appeal to the younger female.
Jake Paul's a flog. Moving on.
Yeah,
He,
I don't mind Logan for some reason.
I like Logan
I think
too.
Logan's an alright dude.
I
Made
can
some
re-
mistakes, made
Yeah.
up for it.
I can relate to
Jake's
Logan
just
a lot,
a dick.
actually. But Jake Paul, a flog. And the thing about it is he just appears to be a mean boxer, and it just...
Yeah, come on.
No, like, I'm not saying he's technically sound or anything. I'm just saying he's mean, and when you
He's
fight
technically sound for a YouTuber.
when it's orthodox fighting orthodox, there's not really up
Anyone
for
who
much
doesn't know
debate.
what that means, it means like your right hand's your
Yeah,
left hand, yeah?
yeah, 100%. But I'm just saying when it's orthodox versus orthodox, and you've got somebody who's meaner and probably more like experienced in the
Yeah,
boxing
that's
field,
what
it's
won
a
it.
no-brainer.
That's what won it, right? So you have to say that people were betting on, what's his name, Nate, for the athleticism. The fact that he's a multi-sport, like world caliber athlete,
Yeah.
right? But he has not boxed before. He's never fought before, and he would have been training hard. They said he was training 6 days a week. You're training to fight. It's just different, man. You can be athletic, but fighting is just that you can't play fighting. You can play football, you can play basketball, you cannot play fighting, a real fight, man. And unfortunately for him, Jake Paul, as much of a dickhead as he is, he actually seems to be kind of a naturally gifted fighter. He compared it especially to Logan. Jake Paul hits a lot harder. Like, he's a naturally gifted puncher.
He has
He's
the
got
little
more,
touch
he's
of
fast.
depth.
Yeah, he's
He
got a
has
touch
the
of depth.
power
He
in his
punches
hands.
hard. He's fast, and he has actually fought not against high level talent, right? But
He has 3 fights.
he's got 3 fights. He's
2
won all
that are
3.
recorded.
Yeah.
Now, like the... So the
So
first
he's
fight
got
was
way more
against...
experience.
I don't know
3
what...
fights is more experience than no fights, right?
Exactly.
And every fight counts.
Yeah.
Being able to harness your fears, your anxiety, and as you said, you're stepping in front of someone who Nate's looking at it like, this is a fucking loudmouth YouTuber, right? He's nothing. He's just some guy. But he is some guy who's had 3 actual fights. Now, it's against competition, nothing. But still, he's fought before in front of crowds. He's been boxing and training for a while. Him and his brother have both been training. And you could see the person who's been training for longer, even if it's a couple more years, had a huge advantage.
So
he made him look like it was like a...
light years, dude.
Light years between them.
Hold on a sec. So you tell me, because I thought you were saying earlier, this is the guy who was KSI's brother, who was fighting.
No.
No,
So,
I'm the
so,
trainer one.
so Logan Paul fought KSI
Yep.
to a draw, which was bullshit.
I remember that,
because
yeah.
Logan Paul had a point deducted away from him from just like bullshit reasons, and that was a draw. So
And
really,
now-
Logan Paul should have won that fight.
So
And then-
Jake is the brother who fought.
Yep.
He fought on the undercard of that fight against KSI's younger brother.
Oh, on that
Deji.
fight. On
Deji.
that fight. Okay, but
So that was
this time
his
he's,
first fight, right?
This time he's fighting the guy who was a former Nuggets player.
Yeah. He's
Yes,
fighting
he's
a
he's
super
played,
athlete.
well, he's played for a lot of teams.
Now, we have to say, before we go any further, it's not just fought. He knocked him down hard, 2 times, and then knocked him out fucking
It was a-
starch cold.
He did. He fucking bounced his head right off that canvas.
Man.
And then afterwards, you know what he did? He called out Conor McGregor and Dylan Dennis.
That's rough, man. It's a rough call out. I mean, I know he's doing it for the star power of it. Now he thinks he's a legit fighter. This is what happens when you get an inflated ego. You're beating people who are nobodies, and
I
then
remember
suddenly
when I
you
had
think,
my first goat beer.
yeah. Well, that's the problem with these guys, man. Like the problem with it happens with celebrities. It's now happening with the Paul brothers. They want to prove that they're tough. Like that. It's a reoccurring thing where these kind of celebrities, they want like your Stallones and your action heroes and all these fucking guys want to be able to prove and say that they're tough or that they're real fighters and that they've done these things, and it's a syndrome almost. So it's like a sickness that happens to these guys who they don't want to be considered a pussy or a weakling in that sense that like, oh, all I do is talk on YouTube. I'm not this fucking tough persona that everyone might perceive me as now. And he's trying to prove it, and he proved it against 2 not fighters and
3.
and yeah, as you said, an athlete, a basketballer.
One not counted in his record, and also don't put Rainbow in.
Dude, thank you. I was just about to say the stab against Stallone, though,
Don't put
dude.
Rainbow in the
That was-
Brothers
No,
at the same time.
there's numerous stories of him talking about having legit fights when he was
Blatant.
filming Rocky, and like he's talking about like, oh,
'Cause they're
dude,
legit,
it
dude.
was a real fight, dude. I'm like, no, it's not.
Do you know what those fights are called?
Yeah, acting.
Last Blood.
Acting.
And First
Makeup,
Blood. And
acting.
everything in between.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, that was blatant rage from you that I just saw in your
They were
eyes.
as real as it gets. I felt like I was there watching
Yeah,
those
so shit,
movies.
real bullets. Was he?
No. Well, Brandon laid the credit.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this is what happens, and so he's calling out real fighters. Dylan Dennis, Bellator fighter, loudmouth, likes to kind of carry over the Conor McGregor mantle
he's
because they train
undefeated.
together, right? No,
He's
well,
he's
what,
undefeated,
what,
isn't he?
like 3-0 or something
2-0.
like that, 4-0.
2-0.
2-0. Yeah, okay. So technically, Jake Paul's had more fights than Dylan Dennis has on the professionally, but Dylan Dennis comes from Conor McGregor's camp. He kind of has that. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. I would still favour Dylan Dennis to win. I think he's been training with Conor and training striking for a lot longer than Jake Paul has. So I'd say Dylan Dennis would win that fight. I know they would probably try and make it too. Like Bellator would be all about that, trying to make it. But I mean, the problem is with Jake Paul calling out MMA guys is that you're not a boxer or a fighter. You're a YouTube star, and you're calling out MMA fighters, but you want them to box you. Why don't you call them out for an MMA fight since they're MMA fighters? Do that, right? You come off as a dickhead calling out guys who aren't boxers. Other than, as you said, like he's gone from fighting not fighters to now saying I want to fight professional MMA fighters, not boxers. So, that's going to go terrible for you because you're going to fight a legitimate fighter. Dylan Dennis, yeah, look, he stands a chance. Not a big one, but he stands a chance against Dylan.
And also, can we just
if he
point out?
fucking
Can we,
fights Conor McGregor,
can we just point out whatever Jake Paul thinks he is and has in the striking department as a boxer, Dylan Dennis definitely has on the ground as an MMA
come on,
fighter.
man. He turned him into a fucking pretzel. It's not even going to be close. If it's an MMA fight, it's over in 10
It'll
seconds.
kill you, will
It's
it?
over in 10 seconds. If
If you fight Dylan Dennis in an MMA fight, you're putting a few band-aids on.
No, Dylan Dennis will break every bone in his body before he makes a
You'd be
tap.
better off, challenging him to like a MasterChef duel or something like that.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
that's
right.
what, yeah. who's more of a flog test? Is what they want.
You're going into like the McGregor.
That is a draw.
Now-
Unlike the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones
No,
Jr. fight.
Before even we go past that, he's calling out Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
right? A Golden Gloves
We
champion,
know.
a two-time world champion in MMA, some of the best hands in the sport, maybe considered to be the best boxer in the MMA. Conor would fucking ruin his life. Like, I know he thinks he's a tough guy, he's this YouTube star, he's a phenomenon. Yeah, he's knocking out some guys. Conor McGregor would kill him in there, punish him in there. It wouldn't even. It's so dumb to think that like they might actually do that. You might actually sanction a fight between a fucking show pony on the internet against a legitimate fighter.
Who? Dylan Dennis or Conor?
Everybody wants to slice of the
They
McGregor
wouldn't
show,
make
right?
Conor and Jake
No.
Paul.
McGregor would never
There's
take
no
it.
chance that
though,
would
dude.
happen.
Conor McGregor goes where the money is. Man.
Exactly.
Dude, they would not make that
You reckon
fight.
that would be the money, like over everything he could
There's
do?
more chance of Dylan Dennis happening than Conor. If Conor took it, it's an execution. It's an
100%.
execution.
Yeah.
You better give Jake Paul the book of Eli because he's absolutely no chance.
Praying
They're not going to make that
place
fight.
if he thinks
We
he's
know
going
this.
to even stand a chance.
Don't entertain
He
that.
would get mopped. And anyway, as he said, there's some more between that fight. There's some more shenanigans. I think Snoop Dogg performed a 20-minute
I liked
fucking
that.
bullshit.
I liked the bullshit. That's what saved the show for me. I hated it.
I muted
The
it.
dude in the pink jacket.
I had
that
the-
was the worst. Why did they waste the pyrotechnics on that guy, dude? The main event didn't have pyrotechnics, dude.
We talked
I was
about
saying
it.
this
We
as
talked
it was
about it.
happening. I was like, who the fuck is this vlog? I don't even know the song. And then, dude, he has all of the pyrotechnics. And then Tyson and Roy Jones come out. And there's nothing. There's no crowd. There's no light change or
This
anything.
is a Wooch rant brought to you by.
This is the
fucking
first
Whiff.
Wooch rant you're gonna get, and won't be the last. But I'm just so
Surprised
fucking
it's the
pissed
first.
off that dude, nothing, and this guy gets the pyrotechnics.
All right, guys, come on. Let's get down to the main event.
Now, as I said, it was a shit show of a fucking thing. Right now, like probably the best thing, entertainment-wise, was probably Jake Paul getting that knockout. Right,
yeah.
it's a
100%.
spectacular
Broke
knockout.
the
Right,
internet for a little bit.
it's crazy. But the show was a circus. But then we get down to the main event. Like you do legitimately get those kind of chills. In my lifetime, I've never gotten to see Tyson box before. Right, live, like in person. I've seen every highlight. I've watched a lot of his boxing matches in the past. Like I know exactly what it is about him, that the mystique, the aura, why he's pretty much considered to be the most terrifying boxer of all time. The
God.
scariest ever. Maybe he's not the GOAT. He's not the best boxer ever. He's definitely the scariest. No guy ever
He's on the Mount
put
Rushmore.
fear into other fighters' hearts more than having to stand in front of him. He's a terrifying force of nature. And then you have Roy Jones, one of the slickest, like the finesse, the skill.
If not the slickest.
One of the best athletes that's ever competed. So fast, insane left hook. Absolute spectacle watching these two guys fight. And I was thinking it was going to be an old man's fight. Right? We all kind of thought it was going to be a lot of two guys who would go for one competitive round and then they would just tire out and fucking lay on each other and it'd be a shit show. It was not that, actually, man. I was geeking out watching this fight. To see those two guys, despite the fact they're fucking 20 years removed from their prime, maybe 30 years removed from their prime, it was fucking awesome to watch these two actually mix it up. Tyson, I mean, I'll throw it to you first. What did you think of it? Like, when you're watching these two guys actually fight? You know?
It was two very old guys, going into an exhibition match, ready to throw. Like, here's the thing about fighters. Even after they've retired, they don't want to retire, especially if they were the best in their time. Nobody wants to. They don't want to stop doing it. So when they get a chance to do it again, even as old as they were, and they're doing it under the rules of an exhibition match, they're really going in to take each other's heads off. And I think that they tried for the first little bit, they tried to be amazing, and then it turned into an actual exhibition match. And it was entertaining. It was good to watch. It was really good to watch, actually.
Now, was the fucking drone that's flying around the ring fucking with you? Because like I was watching a fight in motion whilst this camera's kind of floating around. I was like, I don't like this, man. Can you just stick on one side of the ring instead of floating around it with this weird like fly on the wall shit that they were doing? I hated it. It was giving me motion sickness. I hated it. That I hated. But watching Tyson 15 years ago was the last time he actually competed. And he kind of lost his craft. He lost the peekaboo style, the bopping and weaving and shit. He came back out in... No, when he was... He lost that before. Back in this fight, he looked like the Tyson of old. He isn't like the Tyson of young.
The shoulder roll and the ducking and weaving.
He had it.
I thought that was great.
He looked excellent. His footwork was phenomenal. The only thing that was off was that he's obviously slower. Yeah. He still hits like a truck. He's slower, but in his accuracy, he wasn't quite hitting the target the way he used to. But at the same time, Roy looked fucking spectacular too. He was landing those, popping that jab, sticking it range.
Here's the thing.
I loved it.
I thought that Tyson clearly won that fight. And I thought that his bopping and weaving was really good.
Which is...
in the first round and the second round. And then here's the thing. It went to a mid-tier level, but never did he look super tired and did it diminish. Roy Jones, though, I thought was diminished after the second. And I thought all of his best moves and cards were played in the first 1, 2, if you want to give benefit of the doubt.
For one... Look, I scored it for Roy. I might be the only person on earth who scored it for him. I know one of the judges gave it to him. I need to watch it again. Oof, I got the fucking belchies again. Oof.
It's that goat.
Oof, it's that goat.
Goat beer, dude.
That's that goat.
Come back up.
Bubbly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a homer for Roy. He's probably my favorite of all time to watch. So I was watching it. I thought he was sticking at range. I thought he was popping Tyson as he was trying to come in. He's obviously got a way longer reach. I thought he was moving and finessing and using the footwork to, maneuver around the short, stocky, like powerhouse that's Tyson, who needs to get in on the inside. But at the same time, Tyson, he looked fantastic, and he did not gas as much as I thought he would. Right? Didn't. For someone who hasn't fought for 15 years, Roy fought only 2 years ago was his last fight, and he was the one who was better conditioned, and he looked like he was in much better shape than Roy was, but. I don't know. I need to watch it again. I thought Roy won it. I thought he was sticking him from the outside. I thought he was moving well. I thought he was throwing the exact combination that you saw him on his Instagram videos, hitting the pads. I loved it.
I don't think Roy's...
But Roy knew
nothing
straight away.
I don't think much connected for him.
I don't think so either.
But
good jabs here and there.
Tyson didn't connect anything other than to the body, which was doing a lot of damage. And as you said, it took the wind out of him quickly.
I'm not saying Tyson really hurt him. They didn't really hurt each other.
I think he did. I think he hurt him to the body.
I think that just Tyson connected way more, and that's what should have won the fight for him in the second half of the fight.
As you said, you can score it either way. Obviously, it was going to go to a draw because people don't understand. They had live betting odds, but it was this is an exhibition. There's no judges.
That's what.
There's no scoring. The fucking ref is calling out to them. Oh, hey, Roy, let him go. Stop clinching. Break it up. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to take a point? There's no fucking points. Dude, you can't take a point. So what are you going to do?
Was the ref even there? All they did was clinch and hug. It's like that shit would not fly in any other boxing match.
But you can't do anything though. There's no ramification for clinching. You can't strip a point.
It's not my point. I'm just trying to say that there was a lot more of that, and it went on way longer than any normal boxing fight.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people thought it was going to be like a crazy barn burner war, and maybe it would have been in their primes. And all I was doing seeing this fight was imagining what it would have been to see these two guys, two of the best ever, the most elite, separated from the pack kind of guys going at it when they were at their best, and I was geeking out hard on the inside. I was like, I know I'm never going to see it. It was way past its, it's
you might have had Roy Jones Jr. back then. But
I'm just going to say, man, it was still fun to see, man. I know a lot of people...
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed watching that fight, and it was good to watch Tyson.
I don't want to see it again.
I just think they did him so dirty by the presentation and the...
Unless he knocked him out, it was going to be a draw regardless.
Do we need to see the
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, the whole... did you notice did you notice any difference in presentation and everything before the main event than any other of the fights? There was no... Apart from you had Snoop come out, and Snoop had more.
Dude, now we have to,
one thing than the main event.
One thing we missed out too is the fucking commentary during this fight, man. All it was Snoop yelling out bullshit. Oh, it's like my two uncles at the barbecue fighting. Man, let the people who the fighting experts, the Izzies and the Sugar Ray Leonards, commentate on what they're watching, not you just yelling out fucking, like he's literally like chanting, "Come on, Roy, come on!" Like he was trying to actually come across over the broadcast and actually yell instructions to Roy Jones as if he's like a fucking cornerman. God, man, I love Snoop, but I kind of hate him at the same time because they actually think that he's some sort of like he's like a legit.
He's not meant to be there though, right? That's
annoying, but yeah,
he's
it's the kind of circus that you signed up for. Yeah. And as I said, all I took away from it was the fight itself was more than I could have expected, more than I could have wanted, because I expected two old fucks who were going to gas out, in one round. And also the production was terrible. They did it. It was 8 rounds, and then in the third round, it said 3 out of 6 rounds. 3 out of 6, and then the next round, and the fourth round was like 4 out of 8. So you guys fucked up there.
So to wrap it up, do we want Jurassic Park 2, the rematch?
The Lost World?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Look, they're talking about...
I was getting upset watching Anderson Silva fight.
Yeah,
right?
look,
These guys are way past that.
Mike Tyson's talking about making a Legends League, right?
Die.
I don't.
Right,
I really don't think we need a Legends League, especially with boxing. You talk about like a sport built around taking punches primarily to the head. I don't need to see old people come back and do that in their later age.
Look, I thought this was a great novelty to do once. Once, for fuck's sake. You couldn't have maybe done it any better than this. You can't find 2 other names that's going to work at this point in time. There's not going to be two, I know Holyfield wants that smoke. Every old fucking boxer in their prime, in their heyday was like, oh fuck, I could do this, I could do this. I don't want to see it, because like Anderson Silva's been talking about boxing Roy Jones for years.
Look at all the other...
The food is here though.
Yeah, I mean, we can wrap it up from there. What did everyone else think about this fight? Because I love the fight itself, but outside of that, I don't want to see any more like this. It was a one-off. It was a draw. No one wanted that, but at the same time, of course it was going to be. It was a fucking exhibition. If no one got knocked out, then there was clearly going to be no winner. Right? Because there was never supposed to be a fucking winner in the first place. So
exhibition.
That's all you can expect. It was a great fight.
All right, Woochie baby, you fucking tall, gangly ass bitch.
Yeah.
UFC wasn't much to watch, I think. Everyone was just fixated on this Tyson Jones card. I don't think anyone really tuned in for the UFC. I watched a few fights. I got only a couple of things to take away from it. What about you?
I glanced over it a couple times, Griff, you little dirty little snagglepuss.
Awesome.
I watched...
Touche.
I skimmed through it all. There's only 3... That's not 3. 3 main talking points from it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you've got 4. Chuck in Miguel Baser as well. Miguel. But I'll start with my 3. Let's start with Spiky Baby.
Yep.
Spike Carlisle fighting Bill Algeo.
Fantastic rig.
Yeah, dude, the most shredded,
athletic, redheaded fuck. He's a crazy motherfucker.
Dude, he's a wild man.
Who calls their kid Spike?
Yeah.
Okay? You know he's going to be a little shit.
He was already destined for greatness.
Yeah.
And he's the craziest ginger on the roster.
Yeah.
He fought Bill Algeo, Spiky coming in as a favorite, and he did the same thing in his last fight. He gassed out quick.
Yep.
He came out wild, which is what you want to see.
Against Billy Q, and it was kind of like the exact same thing happened against Bill Algeo.
Exact same thing. Different.
You lost to Bill.
Same day, different Bill.
Yeah.
He just gassed out, but that doesn't matter because we'll watch him gas out because he's exciting as fuck.
Yeah, for a couple minutes. Now, I have a bone to pick with Bill Algeo, man. I don't like that he got put into the UFC. I'll say this straight out. He's a good fighter. He looked very good.
Yeah.
Well-deserved win.
Patient.
He's got all the tools. I'm annoyed because of the whole Dana White's looking for a fight thing, where like he fought on that fight against what's his name? A European fighter whose name has escaped me. Brendan Loughnane. And he lost, right? And this is the fight I was telling you about. Brendan Loughnane was winning the fight. They went to war. It was an epic fight. Then he went for a takedown in the last 10 seconds, right? And then won the fight, was declared the winner over Bill Algeo. And then Dana said, no, I'm not signing you because you shot in for a takedown on the last 10 seconds, and that's some sort of sign of weakness, apparently. And that you weren't trying to finish the fight.
Yeah.
Go fuck off with that.
Yeah.
So they don't sign Brendan Loughnane, one of the best prospects out of the UK, someone they could put on those big UK events. The guy who won. And what do? They have Ricardo Lamas fighting. I can't remember whoever it was meant to be, and his fight fell out. And so they call, who do they call? The fucking loser of that fight, Bill Algeo, to come in. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't have a good performance. He had a great performance against Ricardo Lamas. To debut and give Lamas the business in that first round,
Business, dude.
Lamas rallied back. I love that fight. I thought it was a bullshit that Lamas retired him, and he still got it. But yeah, you got Bill Algeo coming in, losing his debut, great fight, and then he beat Spike Carlo. I just don't like it, man. I feel like Brendan Loughnane got scummed out there. That's all I'm going to say. Fuck Bill Algeo. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no doubt. But that aside, Bill Algeo put on a very good fight against Carlisle. Tired Carlisle, but a Carlisle nonetheless.
True fighters
And won
fashion
that
too,
fight.
like withstanding the fucking storm. Because I mean, Spiky Baby comes
That's
with the storm.
fucking the most ginger storm you're gonna witness as
man.
well.
Red lightning bolts coming right at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a scary man. Dude,
Scary little
Bisping
fuck.
tells the story about dude pre-fight or whatever. Sparky Carlisle is naked, sunbaking out front of the hotel on the grass, naked in front of everybody. He's
Yeah.
absorbing. Get this, because he's a very religious man, absorbing God's light before
Bullshit,
the fight.
dude. Getting sunburned is what that is, dude. No redhead fucking absorbs sunlight and doesn't go prawn pink.
This is very much so.
Dude, he gets his dick out for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? He goes fucking ginger pubes and all. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah,
Bless unto thee.
avast ye.
Yeah. Anyway, next takeaway. Come on.
The next one is broke our hearts, but also at the same time, it's bittersweet because we know Rachel Ostovich
Ugh.
losing to Gina Malzana.
Doesn't matter. Fucking
Doesn't-
name.
doesn't
we
matter.
weren't watching
Right.
for Gina Mazzani, okay?
Mazzani, dude. Yes, no. Well, Mazzani got the TKO, but Rachel Ostovich is now going to OnlyFans.
4 and 6. Now, look, I know what the UFC are like, right? They like to keep the fighters around that are promotable.
She is the most promotable.
Hawaiian, sexy,
Sexy.
can't fight for shit, sexy, Hawaiian. Did I mention anything that we're not paying attention to? She's hotter than...
Sexy as fuck.
She's
dude.
hot. Okay, come on. I love you, Rachel. Okay? You shouldn't be fighting.
Your
okay?
calendar will be here soon.
She's hotter than all.
Yes, I did.
She's hotter than all the ring girls. We are ordering Rachel's calendar for 2021, and it will
Signed.
be posted right there on our wall. Coming soon to Cup of Whiff. Yeah. So when now, real
Yes.
questions. Real questions. If you were to predict in 2021, what's more likely to happen? Conor McGregor faces Jake Paul or Rachel Ostovich?
She's gonna do
Starts in the-
OnlyFans.
No, OnlyFans.
She's gonna have OnlyFans.
And guess what? She's going to have all of the fans, too.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them. She's so hot. She's preposterously attractive. You can't be fighting when you look like that. It's sickening to me. I know that she has, she's a fighter. She's not an athlete. She's not an artist. And she's not a fighter. Did I say fighter first? I think I did. Athlete, fighter, artist.
I'm lost
She's
in
not
her
any
eyes,
of those,
dude.
right?
I don't know what we're
She's
talking
not
about
any of those,
anymore.
right? She's got heart, right? She's got heart. She actually pulled off a really great
She's
back
got
take.
legs too.
Dude, she was in the what's her name? She was in the I don't know the position. I'm not a jits phenom, but like she was on her back. Her opponent had her neck wrapped and was laying on top of her, and she managed to take the back by lifting her fucking sweet ass all the way up and around and took the back. Didn't do anything with it, but she showed heart. All right. Don't fight again, Rachel, please. I love you. All right. Sit on my life, okay? Don't fight again. 4 and 6. Artem Lobov looks at that and shakes his fucking bald head on that man. The GOAT. You researched Rachel Ostovich? Fight history? Yeah.
A great moment in time. How was it? Yeah. Yeah.
Hats off to
How
Gina.
long did it take
What did
you
you say
to
Gina
find
was-
out that she was a fighter as well when you were researching her? Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, she's not, right? Because Gina Mazzani beat her. 7 and 4, Gina Mazzani. She sounds like she's on a Gina. I don't like. I mean, who is Gina Mazzani?
Gina Mazzani sounds like a real estate agent.
No, she sounds like she's the bottom option on an Italian restaurant menu. That's what it is. That's the option you don't go with. You do.
Yeah.
You know what, waitress? Here are the specials for the day. We got the as you said, the rigatoni. We've got the fucking minestrone. We've got the ravioli, and we've got the Gina Mazzani.
Hey, you know ain't a Mazzani if it ain't got the fucking mushrooms in it, okay?
Hey, grandma, no one wants your fucking Gina Mazzani no more.
Yeah.
Okay, good win for her. Good win for her.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see her fight anybody. Right? Who cares?
And then
We're,
I guess
we're fight fans, but who cares? The rest of this card, go fuck yourself. The only, as I said, probably the only good takeaway, Miguel Baeza, Caramel Thunder, doing the damn thing, getting KO wins over Matt Brown, getting submission wins in this fight too against whoever the fuck he fought.
Yep.
Takashi Sato.
Look at that. It's good to see
10-0.
10-0, yeah.
He's
Good
a welterweight prospect, man. Like, I know Hamzat's getting that push, but he's one of those guys that, along with, you know who he should fight? Is that fucking Ukrainian fuck that we saw on that card.
Shakrat or whatever his name was.
Shamkat or whatever his name was.
Dude, something.
He was,
Dude,
no. He came out of,
Look,
his name, that's his fucking
it's something
name.
like that, though.
It's his name.
Fuckles the chuckles about. Go look it up, Doodle.
No, his name, no.
That's his
no,
actual
literally.
name. He's Mongolian or
His
some
name
shit.
is Shavkat.
Look it
Shavkat.
up.
Shavkat. K-A-T. It's Shavkat. Rachmanov. There he is.
Yes, dude. How close was I? Shavkat. Rachmanov. Shakrat. That should be his fight.
He said something. He said something close.
What I said was way better.
Now, that's the...
This guy is a monster, though.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Listen to what I have to
So is
say.
Miguel Baeza, man. Caramel Thunder's got that shit.
good fight. I like it.
All right, main event. We can't top that. Main event. Look, it was meant to be Curtis Blades versus fucking Derek Lewis. No one gave a fuck about that fight because there's no consequence to the result. Whoever wins that doesn't fight for the title. Okay, so there's no stakes for that fight. Curtis Blades tested positive for fucking COVID. Who gives a fuck? We now get Anthony Smith versus Devin Clark. Can Anthony Smith journeyman his way through this fight as he has for his whole career?
Yes, he can. Very fast.
He's not a great fighter. He's a good fighter.
And
That's
he did
all
it
I will
very
say.
fast.
He's a good fighter.
It was super impressive to see
Was
him
impressive.
to see him lock up that triangle that quick.
We would have had a big problem if Devin Clark won because Anthony Smith, as you know, he's a good fighter. He's not great, but
Got all the
I
jits,
love
though.
him. By the way, I love watching Anthony
Yeah,
Smith
so do
fight.
I.
But we know that he's probably not going to challenge for a
Great
title
set
again.
of teeth for a fighter.
The best teeth.
Even though
Darren Till, you know,
Glover just checked him, but they still
Yeah.
look fantastic.
yeah, he had to get a few of them put back into his mouth. But
Yeah.
no, great win for Anthony. As he said, he was riding a 2-fight losing streak. This would have been 3 fights in a row had he lost. He shouldn't be losing to these like the Devin Clarks of the UFC, right? Devin Clark is definitely like a win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2. Hey man, Devin. Okay, so Devin's an okay fighter, man. He has the biggest legs on the roster. Period. Maybe he can easily fucking leg press a car. Preposterous legs. I'm jealous because I just have these fucking chicken wing fucking bullshit legs. So I see shit like that and I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, my legs are rough. It's a good
Hey,
win
you talking
for
about the getaway sticks, dude?
yeah, dude.
Talking about the getaway sticks?
You could get away from almost anything with those.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely I can.
Look, good win for Anthony Smith. He should be winning these fights, though, right? Devin Clark. All right, he's there.
You wanna make that
Okay,
sound?
Devin
I can
Clark's
make
there.
that sound.
The best thing about Devin Clark fighting is his dad cornering him, right? His dad yelling at, like, I can't, we need to bring it up. Like, I
Isn't
can't
that
do it
'cause
into the
he's-
mic. It's too loud. But his dad is the best cheerleader of all time. So I love watching his fights for that. I don't care about his fighting style is bullshit. He's just kind of like a charge forward, no technique, kind of just tries to run into you. He's a car crash fighter. He likes to crash into you like a fucking car and just hopes that he just takes you down and beats you up. If he doesn't do that, nothing works. And it didn't work. So Anthony, by the way, Devin Clark's got way better wrestling credentials than Anthony Smith, and Anthony Smith took him down, got reversed, and then Anthony Smith submitted him with a triangle. Good for Anthony Smith. I want to see him fight Paul Craig. I don't know about you. That's the fight.
The Bear Jew?
The Bear Jew. Anthony Smith. That's the fight to make. I don't give a flugelhorn fuck about any other fight they can match up. You got something to say, Flugel? Yeah, oops. Yeah. What's the next week's card? That's not next week's card. We've got Hermanson versus Vittori.
That card is
Dog shit. Now, if the last card wasn't the worst card of the year, this one definitely is. Okay.
Just look at the
look,
card,
okay.
though.
So now this was going to be a good fight. We did highlight this earlier. Hermanson was meant to fight Darren Till. That would have been a great fight. Till falls out. He's still injured from the knee injury he took from the Whitaker fight. Whitaker's a savage. Shout out to fucking Bobby Knuckles, Kanukala Pook. And then we had Kevin Holland step in on short notice.
And we got used to the idea of that fight.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. I thought
So
Kevin
was I.
Holland was going to give him the biz.
I thought maybe Hermanson.
Thought maybe
would've given-
Jack
Hermanson.
Hermanson would have taken him down and got it done. But I think Kevin Holland would have made a good showing for himself coming off of 4 wins in a row this year. He falls out of this fight too. So now we have Marvin Vittori, who was meant to fight
Which
Jacare
is-
Souza.
Dude, it's just I actually really like this because Marvin Vittori's been talking like an Italian lad, like just won't
Yeah, man.
let up on Twitter and everything, just calling everybody out, and he finally gets a little bit of smoke. Some nice
This is the smoke. If he wants the smoke,
Copenhagen
he's gonna
smoke.
Get it. He's going to get it.
Yeah.
Jack Hermanson's going to bring the smoke to him. So if Marvin Vittori's won every one of his fights other than his split decision loss to
It's a
Izzy,
star,
and
man,
that's
to
kind
do.
of like his saving grace is that he gave Izzy enough of a fight to lose a split decision, and he will fucking take this to his grave that he won that fight. No one else thinks that, but he definitely does. This is a big step up for him, but also I'm not mad at the fight. I think, if anything, I like this fight more than the Kevin Holland fight in terms of competitiveness. But I liked the Kevin Holland being in it because I wanted Kevin Holland to win and sort of launch himself into superstardom, which he gets a chance to do fighting Jacare next week.
It's Kevin Holland fight. You like it because
So they kind of mixed and matched the pairing of this fight. Like Vittori was meant to fight Jacare, and Kevin Holland was meant to fight Jack Hermanson. Kevin Holland falls out, my boy Trailblazer, and then now he's fighting Jacare, and Marvin Vittori is fighting Jack Hermanson. So, I mean, it's kind of musical chairs at the top of the, in the middle of the middleweights, we'll call it. I don't know really what to think of this fight. Stylistically, it should be fun. Both guys will stand. Both guys will grapple. I think
If they have to.
they're pretty even across the board. I think Jack Hermanson's a little bit more active, pumps the jab a little bit more.
Vittori's a little
he
bit
bounces
stronger.
and moves it around a lot, whereas Vittori kind of likes to walk you down, get in your face, and make it ugly.
Yeah.
And Hermanson is really good at taking advantage of guys like that, though. You know, like he does kind of wait for you to overextend.
I
It's
dare say
under.
you'll see Hermanson shoot and maybe use a bit of grappling and a bit of ground game.
It'd be interesting to see how these two match up on the ground, I think. It's a no consequence fight because if Jack Hermanson wins, he's probably still going to be ranked underneath Cannonier. He probably still needs another big win. Like he needs that Darren Till on his resume. He needs a big, like a Yoel or someone
I was about to say Yoel. He needs to fight
He's
somebody
not
to get him
going
above.
to win against Yoel. We know we've spoke about this with Jack Hermanson fighting super athletes. He just bounces off them.
Yeah, I
He
suppose.
can't win. He can't win that.
But
fight. Sorry.
Yoel's not the best way.
At least he can
He's
beat
not the
Darren
be-
Till.
He's not the best person to make the example of because Yoel hasn't won in a while.
He
And
beats Hermanson.
we don't know that yet.
Definitely know that.
We don't know that yet. He's had a few weird fights. His last couple of fights have been strange. We don't know. We'll have to see it happen. I know you disagray. Yeah.
I'm
I'm
saying
losing
Yoel
faith in Romero.
Fucking
I know he's a
pulls
freak.
Jack Hermanson apart, limb from limb.
Take the fact that Romero looks like a specimen out of the equation. And
It's
then
not that he looks like a specimen. He's the best athlete in the sport. He is
just
so athletic. He's so powerful. He's so fast. He's fucking 40-something years old, and he's still one of the most unbelievable, as you said, specimens in this sport. Like, the things that he can do, normal fighters in their prime can't do, right? Yeah, the Cuban missile.
I know.
Hermanson,
But we
ain't
haven't
that.
seen the Cuban Missile Crisis in a little while. He's not a young
70 years. Was it 1960s, wasn't it?
70s, wasn't it?
No, 1960s. 64? Why would I think it's 19? No, it was right when No, it was whilst JFK was still like JFK
Dude,
died in what 64?
Look it up. Cuban Missile
If
Crisis.
JFK
When did Bay
I'm
of?
going to say 64,
I'm gonna say 68.
62 actually, because JFK died in the early 60s, 63 or 64, and JFK was still alive when that happened. How did we get onto this?
Just happens. 62.
Yeah, so I did say that in the end. I corrected myself. I said 62. Yeah, you will find it back on the tape. I said 62. I said 62. I said 64, and I was like, actually, I'll correct it. 62 because JFK was still alive. Oops. Yeah. Anyway, so there's your history lesson for you. Couple
I'm just
with
saying.
special.
I need some. I said 68.
What?
I need.
The something that we need is Yoel moving up to light heavyweight.
Yeah, or we need to see Yoel win.
At
Just-
light heavyweight.
Just win, and then I'll have a little bit more
He's
faith
had
in you.
4 title shots at middleweight.
Yeah.
Not getting another.
No doubt.
Doesn't matter
Go to
how
light
many guys he
heavyweight
beats.
and
Go
just-
to light heavyweight. John, the only reason that Yoel wasn't going to light heavyweight is because he trains with John Jones, or he was good mates with him, or whatever, his boys, and he didn't want to move up there if John Jones was the champion because he knew he'd never fight him, right? He would never fight John Jones. They're boys. John Jones is no longer there. So Jan Blachowicz is the champion, and I think the Cuban Missile Crisis, not having to cut an extra 20 pounds, is going to be a fucking big problem
shit.
there.
And I would like
Big problem.
I'd like to see him win because honestly, the last time I remember seeing him win, I saw him beat a scuffed
you want
Luke
me to-
Rockhold, and then the last wins before that, dude, they were wearing sponsorships on their shorts.
Decapitated Chris Weidman.
Yeah, dude.
Killed Lyoto Machida.
Dude, sponsorships on the shorts. It's been a while.
Okay, well, oops. Let me lay out something for you, like a Viagra pill, for example. Okay.
Okay.
Yoel Romero moves up to light heavyweight and fights Anthony Rumble Johnson. How much money would you pay for that? Because I would give everything I own to watch that fight.
It'd be an awesome fight. I'd probably put it on Rumble, but
Holy shit, would that be insane? The two guys have the best chins ever. They both gas out easy, and they both throw fucking bombs.
he could be
He
big enough
cuts
for it.
from what, 220 plus pounds? So I'd say he's absolutely big enough to fight there. He wouldn't be much smaller. Jan's a thick boy, but I mean, Yoel's just a way better athlete than everyone there. Everyone there.
Jan's
Either
got
that or maybe
big
Yoel-
square Polish head, dude.
Yeah, and yeah. I'd say Yoel probably gives most people there the business. I think so.
Hey, I'd like to see it as much as you would.
I would also like to see him fight Thiago Santos too. Just saying. I would love to see that chaos. Anyway, so what was the other fight we had there? Go back, sorry. We got yet again. Oven St. Preux being the gatekeeper against 6-0 Jamal Hill.
Look at the discrepancy in record.
25 and 14. So what is that? Someone math. 35,
45.
13. Fucking. This would be Oven St. Preux's 40th professional fight. And this will be Jamal Hill's 7th. We just saw what happened to Alonzo Manifield, right? He got fucking. Yeah. He got
You got
shit
the
on.
piss beaten out.
Yeah, no, he got flattened. He got Nate Robinson. Big time. I don't like this fight for Jamal Hill. This is dumb. Shit matchmaking, and the rest of the card can suck dick.
Also, by the way, can we
Nate
just-
Landwehr,
we just
fuck you as well. You're an
can we just
idiot.
address that Jamal Hill has 6 wins and 2 no contests?
I didn't even see that. I can't see that. Does he? 2 no contests.
True, dude. A
So he has
quarter
8
of his
fights.
fights have been no contests.
So it's probably a third. Oh, my notice.
Very strange.
Out of 8. Yeah. Don't care.
I don't care about this whole card, to be honest, dude. It makes me sad looking at it. But after that, though, the next couple of weeks after that are very juicy. Oh,
Fuck. So look at this. Davidson Figueiredo turns around his championship main event at UFC 254 and is now going back-to-back pay-per-views in, what is this, 3 weeks? Doesn't fly back to Brazil. They keep him here, staying at the UFC Apex. If I'm not
against
mistaken.
Brandon Babyfaced Moreno, who was also
Baby
on
Assassin.
the Baby Assassin.
Yeah.
Who's Babyface?
Don't know.
Doesn't matter. Moreno against. Sorry, they both fought on the same card,
Yeah.
and they're both
Yeah.
turning it around on the same card 3 weeks later.
I
Amazing.
have to say, I love this, but I also think this is very pivotal fight for Davison because trying to make that weight cut, the amount of weight that he cuts twice. I mean, we saw what happened to Tony Ferguson when you do those weight cuts.
Wait, you say
back to
Tony
back.
Ferguson? He's on that card as well.
We'll get back to that. I'm just saying that you saw what happens when you do 2 weight cuts back to back, very close. It's
Yeah.
rough on the body, man. And Davison Figueiredo performs, 99% of the time at a ridiculous level. But I don't know what it is about this fight that I'm a little bit worried that the weight cut might affect him. Otherwise, if it doesn't and he shows up on form like he has been, it's going to be a rough night for Brandon Moreno.
The roughest.
maybe the roughest night of his life, because Moreno is a fantastic fighter. He's come into his prime and suddenly just kind of became a good fighter out of nowhere. I don't know what happened there. I just watched him eventually when he fought Kai Kara France and then just looked like a completely different fighter out. He was suddenly, working the jab, using his footwork, throwing combinations.
Didn't you, dude? Flyweight's cool again.
Flyweight is cool. And you have a fucking amazing champion at the top of it too, who you should not be sleeping on. Don't think because he hasn't got a big name or because he's a small, as you said, the flyweight fighter, that doesn't really matter.
There's nothing small about that guy.
He fucking matters.
That guy is 125 going on 185, dude.
Yeah, 65. I think he walks around at. So I love Davison Figueiredo. He's the most exciting fighter on the roster. Period. At this point in time, I think you could not find someone who's more exciting anywhere. Like on the ground, the transitions, the striking, the power, the speed, the athleticism. He's an exciting fighter, and he comes to fight. He doesn't fuck around. He doesn't try and win on points. He tries to go out there and devastate his opponents. And all he has done in his UFC tenure is do that.
Yeah, he's a fiery little spitfuck.
And Brandon Moreno is a fucking savage too. He's like a little Tasmanian devil. Like he's that, just like a tornado of strikes coming right at him. So he's not going to be backing down at all. These two guys are going to go head to head. You do not want to miss this. This main event will be fireworks. And fuck me in the beard, Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. Fuck.
Talking about similar styles, similar abilities.
Similar looking.
Similar looking, dude.
Similarly
They
built.
look the same.
Yeah.
If you were really looking at, dude, they look exactly the same. Minus some,
I've
like a
always
better
thought that.
haircut from Charles Oliveira.
Oh, Tony's got the shaved head now. Like,
His hair's
was
gone, dude.
peeling back.
He had the most
Father
widow's
Time cut
peak
it
you've ever
far
seen.
enough, and then now he's like, it's got to go. How dare you? Tony Ferguson, look.
You better come correct before you bring that fight up, dude. I won't tell you again. I won't tell you again. Anyway, that's going to be a cool fight. They both look the same. They both fight pretty much the same.
I got a little bit more insight on this.
One more creative than the other.
Let's talk about it a little bit more X and O's, right, if we have time. Tony was on a 12-fight win streak, and he got paired up with Justin Gaethje. I thought the UFC did him dirty
The
bird.
dirtiest. They should have their mouths pissed
Filth.
in. We know this.
So they gave him Justin Gaethje after he'd been training for Khabib for fucking like 3 months. He took a fucking hiding in that fight. And what most people are expecting is that Charles Oliveira, coming off of, I think, a 7-fight win streak now, with all the momentum against Tony, he was on a 12-fight win streak, and then just got the PS beaten out of him. They're probably thinking he's not the same guy. I disagree. I think Charles Oliveira has looked spectacular as of late, but the problem with him, and the reason why he has those 8 losses, he has some questionable losses against names who you would think now he would probably beat. But the reason why he would lose, I think back in the day, was nothing to do with his skill set or not being a better fighter. It was always mentally. He would break mentally. The last person who broke him mentally was Paul Felder, because Charles Oliveira had Paul Felder he had his back for about 4.5 minutes of the first round. He was looking for the guillotine. He was looking for all sorts of chokes and submissions on Paul Felder. And then Felder sort of slowly brought it back to the feet, got back into the fight, hit him with a few elbows, and then Charles Oliveira crumbled. And it's happened in the past where he gets off to a good lead, he fights strategically. He's got all the tools. Charles' striking's never looked better. His submission, he has the most submissions in UFC history. He's got probably the most variety of submissions. He's a fucking beast. But skill set for skill set, you're not going to submit Tony. You're probably not going to he might outstrike Tony technically, but I don't think you can keep up with the pace.
We'll see though, because
Tony
is the most
weird.
creative.
He's so creative. He's weird.
Good luck trying
He's
to
got a fucking crazy chin. The thing is about Charles, and as I said, I was going to point to, is that he mentally breaks. And if there's anybody who's going to mentally break you under a fight,
boogeyman.
it's
Al
Tony
Kukui,
Ferguson,
dude.
man, because that guy will mentally break the best of the best. And that's his style. And as he said, they match up. Charles Oliveira is not going to be able to use his ground game, which is his most effective tool, successfully against Tony. It's not going to work. Tony can do everything that he does on the ground. I think they can transition. It'll be a fun scramble to see them hit the ground. But I just don't think Charles is going to have an advantage there. like he does against everyone else. And I think
It's a
on
battle
the feet,
of hands
Yeah.
going into this fight.
on the
It's
feet,
going
as
to
you
be the
said,
hands.
I think Tony will just walk forward. He'll probably get banged up a little bit, but I think he will mentally break Charles once Charles realizes he can't knock him out and he can't put him away. And I think
I
Tony's
agree.
going to overwhelm him.
I think you're going to see this is a good
I don't
matchup
like-
for Tony.
Yeah, it is. And I don't like this because I feel like you're going to fuck the trajectory of Charles Oliveira getting into that top 5. You just picked the wrong opponent. You really did. You should have given Charles Oliveira RDA, in my opinion. Tony should have been fighting Michael Chandler, and Charles Oliveira should have been fighting RDA. I love the fight, but I also hate the fight because I know in my heart of hearts that Tony's going to win this. It's going to be good for him.
Or for this card
everything
right
is in
here.
the pink here.
Quickly
dude.
show me the prelims for this card.
Find one thing that's in the stink. Surely.
Oh, they haven't announced prelims yet?
Okay, so Spivak versus Sergey Spivak versus who is that?
Jared Vandera. He
Vandera.
fought on the contender.
Yep,
His fight wasn't super impressive.
but he's big. Was that
He's
right?
just a big fuck. Like, super big. And he just puts his weight on you and just, his striking isn't super technical or fantastic. He's just big. That's it.
Sergey Spivak is kind of a technician. He's not athletic. He's kind of big. I hate his hairline.
The
He
worst.
Looks like fucking Count Dracula,
Yeah.
but with a baby face.
His hair is pointing to his face.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
That's the stink. If we're doing 2 in the pink one,
100%.
that is the stinky
that's-
Pete.
Don't look at the records. Look at the face.
Yeah, dude. Take it from us, okay?
Stinky Pete.
Sergey Spivak hasn't had a single fun fight ever in the sport, and I don't know about Jared Vandera. Yeah. If we're looking at a list of, if
Yeah.
we're looking at a list
should
of like
be
America's
there.
Most Wanted, he's probably the 3rd on the list, right? 3rd way down. All right.
Let's fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's
Come
fuck.
on.
Let's fuck that
That's
off.
the stink, right?
Yeah,
that
that's-
is the stinky
that's the
digit of the fight, all the way in there.
Stinky.
Knuckle deep.
Super stinky. No.
Okay.
Next one is JDS and
Cyril
Cyril
Gane.
Gane.
Fuck yes.
First of all, I
That's the-
love watching JDS fight. I used to fucking love JDS fight.
Tell us about his chin.
It's not there. It's made of biscuits.
Yeah.
He's gonna get creamed like he always does, and then and he's always so enthusiastic about being
He's
creamed
the
too.
nicest
Before
guy,
and
too.
after, always
He's so
super, dude, but-
delusional about losing too.
Yeah.
Ah, you got lucky.
Yeah. Thanks to my opponent, whatever. You're gonna get creamed.
8 losses.
If
You know
we're
what's
talking
crazy about Junior too, man? He has so many fucking great wins on that record.
back in the day,
8 losses. It's hard to even think he's lost
yeah,
8
all
times.
8 losses are the last couple
Ever
of
since
years,
he lost
let's be
his
honest.
hair, he started losing.
Yeah. Look. I
He
think
is a dinosaur of the division. He's a gatekeeper
if
to
he-
guys like Cyril Gane, the next prospect. As I said, Cyril Gane looks like Anthony Joshua. He's like a kickboxer version of Anthony Joshua. He's built like the shit. He looks like a Greek god.
Yeah, it looks like
And
it's
he's
made
a
of granite.
he's a fucking spectacular kickboxer. He's got a great MMA game. He's transitioned to MMA very well. He's got submissions. He's got decisions. He's got knockouts. He's the full package, and he's the best heavyweight prospect on the roster. And I think he is, despite the 6-0 record, which we complained about on the last card with Jamal Hill, I think Cyril Gane should be able to give Junior the business.
Yeah, and here's the thing about JDS as well. If he wasn't in heavyweight, his ass would have been cut.
Yeah, heavyweight, they have that free pass to sort of be in their 40s, you know, to be kind of, as he said, like a
They're just
big
there
name.
to throw hams.
Yeah.
That's why you watch heavyweight. You watch people throw hams in heavyweight.
The problem with Junior at the moment is that his style and what he did to be as good as he was, to be the former champion, he's not changed. He doesn't evolve. He's the same Junior, except he's not as fast as he used to be, and his chin, as you said, is made out of metaphorical fucking dust.
Dude, it's made
Okay?
of biscuits, chewing gum, and
Sticky tape.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Band-Aids.
He's not like your Overeem, who's adjusted.
Yeah, but as you said, Overeem has adjusted to getting chinned, right?
Yes.
He takes a grappling central game. Junior still thinks he's fucking Junior. Comes in, hands low,
Yeah.
straight at you, starts
love
pumping that jab,
Still has the same.
winging that but disgusting fucking rainbow overhand that he likes to do, except it's at half speed now.
He thinks there's a pot of gold at the end of it, and there's not. And he's still,
yeah,
he's
except
still,
it's at 0.5 speed, dude. Yeah, so
And he-
Cyril Gane's going to give him the business.
and he still has the best pre-fight routine where he comes out and points at the ground.
Yeah.
Dude, that epic.
He's got a terrifying. He's so nice too, but he's got
Yeah.
a terrifying like across the cage stare. Like he looks like he is a man about to go to war,
100%.
and he's going to go to war with the next big prospect of the division. Please, Cyril Gane, get this win, please. Fuck, I could not hope for something like as he said. We need to get him going. We cannot keep him sort of floating around, knocking off all the cans that are basically what's outside of the top 10 of heavyweight. So I'm going to go with Cyril Gane there.
Me too.
Next fight, yes, Kevin Holland against Jacare. Right, he was meant to fight Jacare Manson this weekend. He's been bumped. He couldn't make it due to COVID, I believe. He's been bumped onto the Jacare fight, which is next weekend. Not going to be a good night for Kevin Holland, I'm afraid. Not going to be a good night for him. Jacare's style is built to beat him, unfortunately. I love Kevin Holland. I want him to win this so bad. If Jacare even sniffs a takedown on Kevin Holland, fight's over.
When you get a guy who's a striker and then on top of who is a kung fu striker,
Yeah.
with
Leap in, hands low, explosive, fast. But that's it. Like he kind of leaps into bullshit, bad positions.
that is Jacare's
Yeah,
wet
bread
dream,
and butter.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jacare has still to this day has an excellent chin. I don't think Kevin Holland's going to be able to bump him any harder than any other fighter who he's fought in the last 5 fights.
If
So-
Kevin Holland can secure this win, though, what a year it would have been for Kevin Holland.
Yes, I mean, it'll put it up
Trailblazer.
for debate. Who's the fighter of the year? We might have to come on to that topic a little bit
Dude.
later on in the year for the potty, but he's on a 4-fight win streak this year.
He was
All of them on short notice. This year.
If he had
4
have won,
fights in a row.
if he had have won his last book, not the Hermanson fight. Was it Hermanson fight? If he had have won that fight,
Who? Jacare?
no, Kevin Holland, when he stepped in to fight Hermanson.
Yeah.
So if he had have won that
Manson
fight,
would have a more winnable fight for him than Jacare.
no, but if he had have won that fight, that would have been the record for the wins in a
calendar year.
Yeah,
If he wins this, it'll
I'm
still
not
be
sure
that.
if it was the year or closest together.
Yeah, no,
Most
this
wins
is
closest. Anyway,
this will
not
still tie
important.
that. If I mean, he'll still get that if he beats Jacare. I just
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
he
I haven't
will.
done the math, but yeah, very good fight.
It's a good fight. It's rough, man. Stylistically, it's rough for
Hard win.
Kevin Holland because the last time he got really taken down, he got worked. I mean, Darren the Dentist Stewart worked him on the ground. The last time he lost was against Brendan Allen, who worked him on the ground and eventually submitted him. Jacare's a different level, man. We know this. He gets people to the ground, and then normally you don't last very long.
He's been
a
around the bend,
wizard.
dude. He's fought everybody. And then we got the last fight we haven't talked
God.
about, which is Moicano.
Damn, I love
and
this fight.
Fiziev.
I love this fight. For anyone who wants to know, Nato Moicano, former featherweight, did well there, but kind of in the last few fights, he picked up a loss against Ortega, he lost against Korean Zombie, and he lost against Aldo. I think those are the 3 losses there. I don't know what the no contest is, but he lost to the best, but he also beat your boy Calvin Kattar. He's got a lot of good wins. He knocked out fucking Cub Swanson with a jab, if I'm not mistaken. He's a monster. And moving up to 55, he had a win.
Super
He submitted
big
his
for the weight
opponent in like a
class.
minute.
Super big.
He's a beast. But Rafael Fiziev,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you as a fight fan how amazing it is to watch Rafael Fiziev fight. He's the striking coach at Tiger Muay Thai. He is Jan
If you don't know,
Proto Jan's striking coach.
if you don't know where Tiger Muay Thai is, it's pretty much the most desired place to learn Muay Thai
In
the world.
Thailand, there in AKA Thailand. I mean, he is the striking coach at probably the best Muay Thai gym in Thailand. And he is a fucking wizard. He fought Mark Giacase, who's known to be an explosive, exciting striker, and he matrixed him. He ran circles around him. I don't know if he's got a ground game, and I think Moicano gets him to the ground. He could work him, but on the feet, Rafael Fiziev might be one of the most impressive strikers I've ever seen in the UFC cage in a long time. I cannot wait to see him display this again against an opponent with a name like Moicano. This is going to be great. This is a pink for me personally. I think Rafael Fiziev is going to be the next big thing at lightweight. If he can learn to stop takedowns or has a good ground game and can keep it on the feet, you're in fucking trouble because this guy is the Matrix on the feet. He's spectacular. His kicks are like lightning. He's got insane.
No,
insane
Sorry,
hand
for me,
speed.
it's the main and the co-main. If you want to chuck
This is the co.
if you want to chuck a third finger in the
Yeah.
pink, then this is it. But I'm still taking.
Wait, who's the main?
I'm still taking the main
Scroll
and the
up again.
co-main for the pink.
No, I'm gonna take this over Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno as like. I think
I
this
don't
is
know
going to
about
be a
that.
fucking spectacular fight. Because I think Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno is one-way traffic, right? Whereas Renato Moicano versus Rafael Fiziev makes me scratch my head because I think Moicano's a fucking beast too, and he's really good on the ground. I cannot express to you guys enough how much you need to tune in for this one.